Everybody, welcome back to Wicked Good Sports. This is Power Play, and we're joined, as always, by Chris Uminski. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Brian. How are you?
Doing quite well. Ready to talk a little bit of off-season Bruins news. There's a lot, so take it away. Where do you want to start?
Well, I think the biggest story of the offseason so far has been Bruce Cassidy got fired.
Yes, surprising. I think we talked about it before. Everyone was very shocked in Bruins Nation. Um, who did they hire, and what do you think?
So they ended up hiring Jim Montgomery, and that's a fine hire. He's not who I would have gone with. But I mean that's an okay hire. He's a pretty good. He's coached 2 seasons in the NHL. He coached Dallas, and he had a winning record with him. He got him to the playoffs. In He got him to the playoffs in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason that I'm not 100% in on this hire is because of the way that he left Dallas.
Yeah.
He left Dallas for the official reasoning was for unprofessional conduct, whatever that means.
Okay, so they didn't go into any further depth. They're just like unprofessional conduct. He's out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's not great.
Yeah, so it kind of makes me wonder going in, like, what are they thinking hiring this guy? Because a lot of the rumors about why Cassidy is out, a lot of it, what I've heard, has to do with maybe there might have been some locker room issues.
So, I mean, it doesn't sound like this guy will necessarily be the guy to right the ship, is what you're saying.
I don't, based on everything that I know about him, that's what I think. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I'd like to be wrong.
Of course, yeah. Well, that's a tough situation. As far as like a pure hockey coach, how is he? Like, are you happy from that perspective?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he coached 2 seasons in the NHL. He's as a head coach. He's been an assistant with the Blues, and the Blues have been one of the more successful teams in the league in the last decade or so. Same with the Stars. Also, he has a 61-43 record with the Stars
Okay,
as a head coach, which that's not horrible.
right.
It's average. It's a winning record. They made the playoffs both of those years. They were a Cup finalist in 2020. But yeah, he doesn't have a lot of head coaching experience either, and that's another reason that I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
But I wonder if maybe Don Sweeney's going in that direction because he's sick of hiring veterans who might be a little set in their ways. That was definitely the case with Claude Julien.
Yeah, right.
It sounds like that may have been an issue with Cassidy, although, I mean, as an observer in that situation, I don't think Cassidy was doing anything
Right.
detrimental to the team.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we'll see. It's very much a wait and see with this hire from what you're telling me. So, if there's any silver lining, it could be people returning. Is that right?
Yeah, so that's another reason that I've been thinking a lot about the Cassidy firing the last couple of days, because they announced Jim Montgomery is going to be the head coach. The other big story going in was, what's Patrice Bergeron going to do? And I am happy to report that he will be coming back for at least next year.
Yes. Good. Everyone was worried at the end of the series last month, but he's back.
Yes, so Bruins fans, we can all rest easy knowing that we will have Bergeron next year. It doesn't sound like any of the big three are going to be going anywhere anytime soon. And then the other thing, too, I'm very happy to report that Jake DeBrusk has rescinded his trade request.
Very good. Very good. So, yeah, take everyone back. When did he first request this trade? It was a while ago, right?
It was like maybe like a quarter of the way through the season last year. He requested a trade, supposedly because he didn't like how much playing time he was getting. He didn't like being on the third line, which if you ask me at the time, he deserved to be on the third line.
Right.
I remember, like when he first announced, like, oh yeah, requesting a trade. I was like kind of indifferent to it. Like, great, if you don't want to be here, don't be here. But since that happened, he has played the best hockey of his whole career. He ended up replacing David Pastrnak on the first line.
Yep.
And turned into probably one of the most important players on the roster. Where I did a 180 and I was like, no, you need to stay.
Right. Yeah. So it was like a weird situation where he asked to be traded and then all of a sudden like became even better than before. And it's kind of good that like the Bruins waited him out. You know?
Yeah, I think so too. But like the timing of this and the Bergeron thing has been making me wonder about the Cassidy firing. There were rumors that maybe he wasn't getting along so well with some of the players. And now Cassidy's out. We have a new guy coming in. All of a sudden, Bergeron's committed. Yes, I'm back next year. And Jake DeBrusk rescinded his trade request.
Yeah. So, I mean, from where you're standing, do you think that is the case? That maybe there's just too much friction between the coach and the players and management was like, this is not going to work?
It's starting to look more and more like that is what was going on. I can't say for sure. The general public have not been given any indication as to the reasons that Bruce Cassidy was fired.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. So obviously, as a Dolphins fan, similar situation with Brian Flores. He got fired, and it was like, what the fuck? Why would you fire Brian Flores? And then it kind of came out, over. And granted, maybe it was a smear campaign. Who's to say, Chris? Certainly not me. But, there seemed to be a lot of tension between him, the GM, certain players, specifically the quarterback Tua. So it was just a bad situation despite some success on the field. So I wonder if it's similar in that.
Yeah, that it does sound a lot like that. If getting rid of Cassidy is the reason why these players are staying, then I guess I'm not as mad as I was.
You're right. No, of course.
I'm still not happy about it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
If you'd ask me if I wanted to have Bruce Cassidy or Jim Montgomery, I'd say Bruce Cassidy every single day.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, now these guys are staying. Maybe he was the problem. And who knows?
Yeah. Speaking of the Dolphins and their general manager, Chris Greer, his brother, Mike Greer, was just hired by the San Jose Sharks to be their GM.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. So
that's interesting. I did not know that they were related. That's very interesting.
So honestly, if you're a San Jose fan, you're listening to this. I think if he's anything like his brother, he's going to be aggressive and like really go for it, which is what you want from a GM.
Yes, it is. Imagine having a GM that is willing to make those big moves.
Imagine.
I wonder what that's like.
Well, you don't know, quite frankly. But congratulations, Mike Greer. I believe he's the first black GM. Did I read that right?
He is. He is the first. He's the first black GM in the NHL. The Flyers also they hired. I don't remember her name, but it's their new video coach.
Very cool. So hey, a lot of like good stuff happened in the NHL here. So love to see that. So I know you were hesitant to potentially bring this up But I say we just go for it. We've seen 2 Bruins return. Is there a chance that we see another Bruin come from
So,
out of left field?
so David Krejci has been spending a lot of time in the United States lately,
Yes.
talking and has been seen with some hockey people.
Right. So, all right. So, I mean, I'm sure most people know, but maybe if, someone who's not a Bruins fan came onto this, what has Krejci been up to?
So David Krejci has been back in the Czech Republic, playing for his hometown league, in the same league that Jaromir Jagr still plays in.
Hell yes. Awesome.
And he's been successful over there. They love him over there. He's a superstar.
Yeah.
But there's always been this contingency of Bruins fans who are like, no, well, he'll come back.
Right.
Yeah, like, what are they doing to get David Krejci back? We really need David Krejci back. I agree we need David Krejci back, but
Right.
I have always been like, it's never going to happen. He's not coming back. But there have always been, like, rumors going around. I've never taken any of them even remotely seriously until I saw something recently that David Krejci has been in touch with NHL GMs.
Mm-hmm.
And so now there's a lot like maybe he actually is floating a return to the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
So
what's his like current contract situation like? Do you know? Like, would the Bruins have his rights at this point, or is he free to sign
yes, the Bruins would have his rights.
So maybe he does come back for the Bruins. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I still don't think it's gonna happen.
Right.
But if it does, you heard it here first.
Mm-hmm. We will brag about that if it happens.
Oh,
if it doesn't,
yes,
you'll
there
never
will
hear
be
about this again. But
there will be celebrations. There will be.
Oh man, so a very interesting time for the Bruins.
Yeah.
I will see. I'm hopeful. I'm more hopeful now. Obviously, like a few weeks ago when, the coach was first fired and we were like, okay, sky's falling. This sucks. I was not very optimistic, but I'm back to being optimistic now.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing to be too pessimistic about, I guess, with this team. Mm-hmm. We have solid goaltending. The main line is still, the core is still intact for the time being. And it seems like we're trying to come on the upswing. I can't tell at this point in the offseason what's going to happen.
Right.
But I like that some moves are being made, in that I'm not spending the offseason worrying about what's going to happen with all of these people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll see, and of course we'll be the first to report if any of these things actually come true that we've been speculating about. But Chris, anything else you want to cover before we get on out of here?
Nope. I think that's it.
Awesome. Where can they find you online?
You can find me. The best place is at Chris_Uminski on Twitter. I'm always tweeting hockey stuff, hockey memes, hockey news, commiserating with Canadian hockey fans who once again have to deal with Pierre Maguire. Big sad for them.
Unfortunately.
And you can join the movement.
Mm-hmm.
Follow at Whalers Revival as I work to bring back the Hartford Whalers.
Yes. Again, like the Nordiques have their guy whose whole job is to bring them back. Hartford, hire Chris. He's ready. He's doing the work for free already. Like,
yeah, now just pay me for it.
Exactly. Like if with the support of the Hartford government, I think we could make some strides to get hockey back to Hartford.
Yeah, Ned Lamont, governor of Connecticut. I'll have my people talk to your people.
Yeah, it's on Twitter right there. At either at Chris or at Whalers Revival. Either one works. Oh man, and then you got TikTok as well, right?
And then I'm on TikTok, Chris Uminski. I don't post much there, but I'm posting more there now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, once like stuff really starts heating up for hockey, I'm sure you'll have plenty of takes. It's kind of where I'm at with the blog, which is a wickedgoodeverythingsports.com. I'm like right at the precipice of football season really kicking into gear, and I will have a lot of thoughts about a lot of things because I am very obsessed with football. So,
You've been warned.
yes, I watched the USFL playoffs, all three games. So that's how bad I'm like hankering
That's
for football fix.
that's commitment right there.
Yeah, the championship game honestly was good. I will say it was a very entertaining game. One of the quarterbacks for one of the teams broke his leg though, in near the end of the game, which sucks. And then they
Oh my.
lost. But it is what it is. I thought it was good, and the USFL will be
Yeah.
coming back for a second season, so that's promising. They're the
That is promising.
first league, spring league, to actually finish and
Survive.
have like in this last 30 years.
Yeah. I think the XFL could have
Oh
if it
yeah,
weren't for COVID.
they were on track and they were doing really well. Like people were coming to the games and like it was going really well, and they just got fucked over by COVID. But hey, that's coming back too. So next spring that'll be exciting. Yeah, with The Rock as the like commissioner, owner, whatever, which is insane. But given the fact that Vince McMahon's not having a great time as of late, if you've been on Twitter and seen accusations coming his way, very serendipitous that The Rock stepped in here. Oh man. All right. You can follow me on Twitter at the Fake BMR. That's BMA. Our channel is on Twitter at Wicked Good Sport and at WG Everything. Instagram, Wicked Good Everything. Twitch at twitch.tv/Wicked Good Everything. TikTok, search Wicked Good Sports. Search Wicked Good Everything. We probably will not be back on this channel for like a couple weeks after this episode. I have a lot of stuff in the WGE universe to take care of, but once that's taken care of and things are in motion, then we can kind of return to regular scheduled program as the NFL season starts to heat up, as I said. But other than that, Chris, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We'll see you all in the next one.